My person was banned. You could no longer own this work if you were in South Africa. That was enough reason for the state to confiscate the work and put you on a political blacklist. So I had to call everybody who I knew had a work of mine and say to them, please be aware, if you are exhibiting a work in your homes, take it down because it can land you in trouble. The South African colouring book came about when I was a student at the Hamburg Art Academy. My colleagues who were all involved in the Vietnam War knew almost nothing about South Africa and the apartheid regime. And I decided to make a work which, in a very brief way, could introduce them to the realities of apartheid. There were these euphemisms that were used in terms of South African racism. One talked about the colour question, etc. So I thought to call something a colouring book had this lovely double meaning, something very simple and innocent, but when you opened it up, it was quite an unpleasant experience to discover that this is how apartheid worked. I focused on photographic silkscreen because it allowed me to introduce real images. My goal with it was to break every rule of printmaking. So I introduced collage, I introduced photography, I introduced text, I tore and punched the paper. The one image I will reference is, of course, the image that deals with me, in which I used the identity card that the state forced me to carry around with me, in which I describe in a text what it meant to be classified in the way that I had been classified. When I created the book, I tried to address all the various aspects of the apartheid system. Issues of identity, the exploitation of labor, the cultural disintegration, the brutalization of people through the state's police power and military power, and the international economic connections that supported apartheid all through from the 1940s right through until apartheid stopped. So it's kind of an instrument, a teaching instrument. And that was the reason the United Nations showed it, exhibited it, and 25 years later when I returned from exile, most art students had never heard of me. They'd never seen a work of mine. That's how effective the banning order was. It kind of made me feel that it was a success because it meant they were paying attention to it. When I made it, I never ever envisaged that it would become such an important work. And the fact that we have people writing their PhDs on this work is quite an astonishment to me as an artist. It's become a serious part of history. Everybody still will reference it way after I'm gone.